And on a next ride, I did make it to Ayutthaya and the Khao National Park, and these were absolutely amazing. You know, the ancient city of Ayutthaya was built in the 12th century, and unfortunately in the 16th century the Burmese razed it to the ground, and now all there is left of it are remnants of these temples. Some are in better shape than others, but it's huge, and you can see the grandeur of this place. And as you can see in the pictures, it's just really picturesque and beautiful. And after this incident, the Thai kings, the Siam king, decided to move the capital from Ayutthaya to Bangkok so as to be less vulnerable to a Burmese attack. And while I was on my way to Ayutthaya, I passed the Khao National Park, and there were elephants, there were toucans, there were monkeys. It was quite an adventure. I came across a bunch of elephants passing through the road, wild elephants these are, and one started charging towards me. So before I could get my camera out, I just started a bike and ran as quickly as I could. So I didn't get a glimpse, but it was quite an experience. Well, after I explored Ayutthaya, I knew a guy who lived in Myanmar. His name is Zach, and he ran a motorbike rental business in Mandalay back in the day, and he told me to come over and maybe rent a bike and check out the place a little bit. So that's exactly what I did, and I came, I rented a bike from him, and I explored Bagan, which is an amazing place in Burma, and there are huge temples. I don't know, maybe 100 or maybe even more. It's several square miles large, and so I explored that, and I ended up going up to the border with China as well, and so it was quite an eventful trip for me, and Myanmar is definitely worth checking out, political situation permitting. And as you can see in the photos, I explored quite a lot there. After my return from Myanmar, me and Alistair had agreed to take a long planned trip to Cameron Highlands, a British hill station in the mountainous side of central Malaysia. And we had been planning to do this for a while, but never could get around to it. So finally we did get around to it, and as fate would have it, we haven't even reached Penang, and Al's motorbike broke down. His braking disc wasn't working, and so we were not able to continue the trip. We were seeking to find a spare part, but no shop had it. So we ended up going to the Honda factory, as you can see in these photos, and then eventually we were able to find the spare part, but we didn't have enough time to make the trip any longer because Alistair had to return back to his family. So instead we took a side trip to Georgetown again, which was always a nice alternative. And Georgetown was always nice to hang out. There's this old colonial architecture, beautifully restored, and the guest houses and many cafes are all located in these old restored buildings. So hanging out in Penang had always been nice, and not to mention eating our favorite curries. In Malaysia, you can get beautiful Indian curries very cheaply on every street corner. And both myself and Alistair, we love the curries, so we would eat curry when in Penang for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well. Well, once we returned from the Cameroon Highlands, from Georgetown, I no longer had any job in Ayutthaya, so I felt like an outsider. Al went back to his family, and I said, "What am I doing here? I have nothing to do here." So I decided to ride my motorbike all the way to Cambodia and visit my Italian friend there. So I rode up towards Sisaket, spent the night there, and from Sisaket I drove down through Siem Reap down to Phnom Penh and met up with my friend and his Cambodian friend Chanto. So Carlo and Chanto and myself set out to go to Kampot, and Kampot is in southern Cambodia by the coast. It's an old French colonial town, surrounded by pepper farms and a lazy river flowing through it. A beautiful, tranquil town. And that's a place where the French first created the famous pepper steak, because the Kampot pepper is world famous for its taste and texture and everything. So we rode down to Kampot, spent a couple of nights there. We rode up the Bokor mountain right next to Kampot, and that was a wonderful trip as well.